Good afternoon, everyone. This is Jacob Melton live here in West Michigan weather. I am also joined by Jonah Drake, who is out in the field right now, near the Free Rivers area. And joining you live here, we do not currently have any severe thunderstorm warnings in effect across our coverage area. But what we do have is showers and thunderstorms has begun to flare up across the area. And some of them are looking relatively strong in nature. So we just wanted to hop on, get ahead of any potential severe thunderstorm warnings that may be issued, and just kind of keep you guys up to date on what's going on. And since we do have live in the field footage as well, we'll go to that on occasion as well. So again, we do have special weather statements in effect across the area, including portions of Cass, St. Joseph, the far southeastern corner of Van Buren County, southern Kalamazoo County, most of Calhoun County, and all of Jackson County. We also have this special weather statement as well in effect for portions of Branch and Hillsdale County. Most of these are for, first couple of these are for, to the south are for a half-inch hail and wind gusts up to 50 miles per hour. But this northern one that is in effect for pretty much some of the I-94 corridor, that's penny-size hail and 50-mile-per-hour wind gusts. So while these storms are currently not severe threshold, keep in mind, is 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts or quarter-size hail, quarter-size hail, I should say. We're not at that point yet, but that is still a possibility as we head through the rest of the afternoon and evening. And again, I just wanted to we just wanted to get ahead of it and let you guys know what's going on. We'll actually go over real quick. Let me go to another scene. Again, we have Jonah Drake out in the field right now near the Free Rivers area, heading towards the activity in and around the activity ongoing across portions of Cass and St. Joseph counties. And we do have a report from a little bit ago of, as you can see, it's starting to rain there. It's just looking kind of stormy out there near the Free Rivers area. Let me go back to my main scene real quick, though. And, because we do have a report a little bit ago. This is around 23 minutes ago near the Penn area. That's going to be northeast of Cassopolis. We did have penny-sized hail reported a little bit ago in that region with this storm. Is there Aaron on YouTube's asking, is there a reason why these storms are so shallow? Does it have to do with the MVC? I think that's the term. I'm assuming you mean MCV. That's the mesoscale convective vortex being over the lake. Yeah, that very well could be. Yep. Yep. And I just got a report actually from Jonah. We do have pea-sized hail falling in the Free Rivers area. We'll take a look at that feed again. Copy, thank you. And again, we do have pea-sized hail falling in the Free Rivers area. That is going to be with this cell near and just north of the Free Rivers area, in between Free Rivers and Flower Field. That is where we're seeing this pea-sized. The storm is producing pea-sized hail, as reported by our own Jonah Drake, who is out in the field in the area. So, anyways, back to your question, Aaron. Yeah, that very well could be. And I will say the overall environment is, we do have the instability. Shear is there, but it's not the highest in the world either today. So that's kind of limiting things as well. It's mainly a shear thing, and also moisture is somewhat limited as well. In fact, I could actually pull that up real quick. Let me go back to the main scene real quick so you can see a little bit better. Let me pull up our dew points, and as you see, Sturgis there is at 57, Coldwater is at 55, but it's been raining in these areas. But we have 52 near Free Rivers. We have 40. But once you get further to north, we're in the 40s for dew points. near the I-94 corridor. And as you go further north, it's down into the 30s. The further north you go, so moisture's kind of limited today. That's what I think is going to temper our severe threat a little bit. But we do still have enough instability out there. We got enough shear. And we do have lift with a front getting ready to move across the area tonight as well. So that will... So we have the ingredients in place for some strong to severe thunderstorms. The main questions today is, do we have enough moisture in place for these storms to really get going and reach the severe threshold? And so far, there's been a few cells that have almost gotten there, but not quite. But potential certainly still there throughout the rest of the afternoon and into the evening hours. So again, we'll take a look at some of these cells individually now. Taking a look first at our cell near the Three Rivers and Flower Field area. We're seeing some high reflectivity values there. We'll take a look actually at hail tracker here. Just a moment to get that up. And we'll go to our hail tracker now. And so we got marine weather statements coming in. See a little bit of an elevated signal on our hail tracker near the Three Rivers area. Another little signal. Maybe some small hail near the Pine Ridge and Flower Field areas. Again, near Leonidas. And further to the east, we're not seeing as impressive of a signal. But again, maybe some small hail southeast of the Coldwater area. So we'll go back to our radar, regular reflectivity radar. And again, this is one of our more impressive cells at the moment, near the Three Rivers area. Again, we did have a report from Jonah of some pea-sized hail in the Three Rivers, near the Three Rivers area. And again, that has been the case with most of these cells. Again, we've had dime-sized hail reported near the Cassopolis area earlier, between Cassopolis and Penn. That was with an earlier storm. So again, most of these cells are strong. They're producing maybe some gusty winds, definitely producing some hail. If nothing else, these are loud storms. We do have frequent lightning being indicated of these storms as well. Actually, we could take a look. Back to our feed real quick. See, the storm is quite strong. So again, we have no active severe thunderstorm warnings for those of you that are just joining us. But these storms are strong, and we just wanted to kind of get out ahead of them. As you can see, we have the hail. Definitely some heavy rainfall. Definitely potentially some hail ongoing in the Three Rivers area. Again, our own Jonah Drake has reported pea-sized hail of the storm. So again, if you are near any of these storms, you definitely want to be inside right now. Be inside a sturdy structure. Again, these are not severe, but they could turn severe at a moment's notice, just with the environment in place today. So that is something we are going to be continuing to watch throughout the afternoon and into the evening hours. So we'll go back to radar real quick. We'll go back to our main radar scene. I do want to take a look at this activity heading into Hillsdale County now, into southern Jackson County as well. That's not looking as impressive as it was earlier. Definitely some frequent lightning potentially near the Jonesville area, near Litchfield. And these could be heavy rain and small hail producers. I do think the strongest storm as of right now is definitely near the Three Rivers area, near Flower Field, just east of US 131. This is definitely our strongest storm as of right now. I could take a look at velocity real quick. Nothing, maybe a little bit. Potentially of maybe a little bit of a circulation actually. East of the Flower Field area. That's, again, nothing imminently concerning in terms of a tornadic threat or anything like that. But just something we are watching a little bit. Let me take a look at rotation tracker. Yeah, maybe a little bit of weak rotation there near the flower field area. Just something interesting that we're noting here. I'm not overly concerned about it in terms of a tornado threat or anything like that at this time, but something we are watching. That's also a sign that the storm's stronger as well and could begin to produce maybe a little bit larger hail if it continues to strengthen. I will say one of the things that have been limiting these storms so far is just the amount of storms that's fired. This is a little more than what our convection allowing models we were looking at was indicating for this time frame. We have a little bit more activity than what those were showing earlier today. And what I think needs to happen is we need some of these to kind of merge into each other, kind of consolidate a little bit. That may allow them to get a little bit stronger as well. So that is something that we'll have to watch for as well as we head through the afternoon and evenings. We get these cells to start merging into each other a little bit. That can kind of get things to ramp up a little bit as well. Looks like we do have another cell trying to fire. This is for those of you in Eaton County. Between Charlotte and Olivet, that could potentially be a storm trying to flare up there as well. So, again, moisture's not as great up there, so not overly concerned about that one yet, but we'll be watching it as well. But again, I think the bulk of our severe threat is going to be near and south of I-96 and really down towards the state line along the US 12 corridor is where I think the greatest concern is going to be with these cells. And it looks like we do have a report coming in from the Three Rivers area. This is 9 minutes ago of dime-size hail as well. It looks like a new special weather statement is coming in for northern portions of St. Joseph and Branch County. That is going to be for this particular cell. Again, that is for the potential of dime-size hail, or penny-size hail, I should say, and 50-mile-per-hour wind gusts. That is going to be going for the next hour or so. And so far today, it's just mainly been a special weather statement type of day. No warnings or anything like that, but just something we're going to be here watching throughout the afternoon and evening. In fact, we'll do a storm track on the storm near the Three Rivers area that has prompted issuance of the special weather statement. Looks like they have it. Let me double check the storm motion on that. Moving east at 50 miles per hour, so this one's moving a little bit quicker. But it's going to be in the Mendon area around 6:06. Leonidas around 6:12. Athens area around 6:21. Union City, that's for this particular cell, 6:27. You have another cell getting ready to move into Union City right now. The Girard area for that particular, for the western cell, around 6:35. The Concha area around 6:36. Butler 6:44, and Marshall eventually down the line, if it holds together, around 6:44. Again, there's other cells ahead of this storm that has prompted the special weather statement, but just want to do a little storm track on that western cell. Take a look at hail tracker. Then I want to take a look again. So I think okay. So take a look at our feed again in just a moment. We'll take a look at hail tracker real quick though. Scan's a little bit delayed, but we're still showing a little bit of some signal for hail near the Three Rivers area. Still showing maybe a small hail signal near the Leonidas area, and then over in the southwestern Jackson County, kind of towards the Pulaski and Concord areas, we're showing a little bit of a hail signal. Back off to the west and north, nothing really too impressive right now. So these are definitely our main storms to watch. Near and south of I-94 as of right now. So again, We'll go to our live feed again here in a moment. We're just kind of in a low signal spot, so video quality is not the best. But again, if you're at any of these special weather statements, you'll want to head inside for right now. Preferably inside a sturdy building. Just kind of wait these storms out, and yeah, you'll want to be inside if nothing else because of the heavy rainfall and lightning. But we do have some reports of hail ongoing with these storms, and there could also be gusty winds up to around 50 miles per hour, which is below severe limits. Again, everything has been below severe limits so far this evening, but that still could change, especially as we head later into the evening, and even into the early overnight hours. You're just joining us here, Jacob Melton live here, West Michigan Weather. I am also joined by Jonah Drake out in the field near the Three Rivers area. We're tracking some strong but currently non-severe thunderstorms moving mainly across far southern Michigan at this time, down towards the state line. Really along and south of I-94 is where the strongest storms have been so far today. We are watching this cell that has kind of started to flare up again. North of I-94 in the Eaton County, near the Charlotte area. Heading towards Eaton Rapids, we're watching some activity. And in fact, we can actually, but that's not severe as of right now, not even close, but just something we are watching. We can go back actually to our live camera feed. Again, Jonah is near the Mendon area now in St. Joseph County. He's near the Mendon area, trying to keep up with these storms as they continue to move to the east. You can see quite the structure at the very least on these storms with our 360-degree camera. You see we got the structure, we got the rain shaft, with maybe some hail in there as well. And again, we're going to be checking this out throughout the afternoon into early evening at the very least. Just a second. Again, that's something we have been watching throughout the afternoon. See what these storms can do as they continue to move off to the east. Again, none of these storms are really sticking out to me at this time as approaching severe limits, but something that could change at a moment's notice just with the amount of instability we have in place. In fact, I'm looking behind the scenes at our mesoanalysis product, and get that pulled up just a second. Take a look at mesoanalysis, our surface-based instability. We do have about 1,000 joules or so, between 1,000 and 1,500 joules. Again, really along and south of I-94 is where our instability is going to be. Highest instability, I should say. We do have 500 going up to around the I-96 corridor, and it does drop off once you get north of I-96. Cecile is saying in the basement once again. I will say, Cecile, I mean, I understand if it's a storm anxiety thing. I get that. I don't see any indications of these storms being severe at this time. We're continuing to watch them, though. They're strong, don't get me wrong. We had some reports of hail and some gusty winds possibly from time to time. But I'm taking a look at all of our products here. I'm looking at velocity. Go over the other radar. Not really seeing anything concerning in terms of tornadic rotation or anything like that. Taking a look at our reflectivity. There's some decent rain makers, maybe some hail makers, but none of these are severe right now. And while that could change and we could start getting warnings, I'm not overly concerned. I will say this, the tornado threat, while it's not zero, is relatively low this evening. I think the main thing limiting our tornado threat is going to be the moisture available. Moisture is quite limited. In fact, I have our dew points overlaid. Our highest values are in the mid 50s, which is enough for storms, and they could get strong. But we typically want to see a little bit more moisture for a more conducive threat for big severe weather, including tornadoes. I generally want to see values getting into the 60s before I get a little more concerned about that. We're not there today. And shear, at least right now, is limited. I will say our mesoscale discussion we had issued earlier for Southwest Michigan did indicate shear could increase a little bit as we head towards the evening hours. But even then, I was looking earlier at forecast soundings. I'm not really overly concerned about a tornado threat. I don't want to say it's zero. We do have a 2 to 4% probability for a tornado according to the SPC outlook, especially near and south of I-96. That's where that's going to be. But overall, our main concern with any storms, if they do turn severe, is going to be damaging wind gusts up to around 60, 70 miles per hour and large hail up to around ping pong ball size. Lola, I was just mentioning that our tornado risk, it's not zero, but is very low on the scale for today. Yeah, we'll go back to our 360 camera real quick. Just showing off some of the structure with these cells as they continue to move off. Again, animating them, they are generally moving off to the east, maybe a touch northeasterly with the motion, but for the most part, they are moving east. And some of the structure you can see again. Jonah Drake right now out in the field near the Mendon area. We'll zoom in on Mendon. You can see if you're in Mendon proper, you're getting looks like at the very least a decent downpour right now. Maybe some small hail potentially as well. Taking a look at radar. And same goes, looks like we have another cell back towards the Cassopolis area. Not necessarily strong or severe right now, but another cell near the Cassopolis and Penn area. We have other cells back off to the west in the southern Berrien County as well, near the New Buffalo, Free Oaks, and Buchanan areas. And then further off to the east, we are watching other storms go near the Hillsdale area up towards Jackson, and over eventually in the southeast lower as well. Is it going to be in Shelby Township? Um, Cecile Lola is asking, is it going to be in Shelby Township? There's two of them, Lola. Are you talking about the one near Detroit or the one up in Oceana County, up towards Muskegon? I just asked because there's two of them. I want to make sure I get the correct one. If you're in the northern one, I will say severe threat is relatively lower tonight up there. It's really once you get along and south of I-96 is where the severe threat picks up, and really down towards the state line is going to be our greatest threats for severe weather. Cecile as asking near Detroit. Okay, thank you, Lola. I was just again that one's technically outside of our coverage area, but I will say, let me just pull up the outlook real quick. You are at a marginal risk for severe weather. And that is an all hazards threat. Wind, hail, and maybe a brief tornado. But I will say The better threat for severe weather is in our yellow shading here in the slight risk. That is south of there, near Detroit. So again, the threat's not zero, Lola, but I will say the better threat may end up. I will say you're in the area we'll have to watch, but the biggest severe weather has better odds just off to the south of there. Cecile's asking what is the timing of the storms in Jackson, Michigan. I will say the threat time frame we are going to be watching is between now and we'll say 2 a.m. is when we're going to be watching for the potential of strong to severe thunderstorms. I will say even after that, we might still have showers and maybe a few rumbles of thunder. But once you get into the overnight hours, we'll lose our surface instability, and that will kind of begin to temper things down. So between now and we'll say 2 to 3 a.m. is our main focus for the potential of severe weather, not only in Jackson, but across most of southern Michigan. So again, we'll take a look at our live feed here. Again, Jonah, if you're wondering, is near the Mendon area. As you can see, you kind of see quite the shot there on our live feed as this activity continues to move off to the east. Again, near the Mendon area. We'll go back to our full screen radar real quick. Wait, when is it going to end? Lola's asking again. 2 to 3 a.m. I think is when we're going to be wrapping up our severe threat at the latest. Maybe a little earlier than that, but definitely by 2 to 3 a.m. It still might be raining. You might still hear some thunder, but I do think by then our severe threat is going to be wrapping up because we just won't have the surface and we just won't have the instability for any storms to really work with and really get going. And we also have a front that'll be moving across the area that'll be getting to push this activity out with time. In fact, I can pull up my surface fronts real quick. Our front we are watching is going to be, at least as of this mapping, this only updates every few hours, but it was indicating a front back across Lake Michigan area, back across Wisconsin, into Illinois and Iowa. In fact, we can take a look at radar. That's likely what this activity up here is for. And I'm not really expecting severe weather up here, but maybe still some gusty winds, maybe some smaller hail. And if nothing else, some heavy downpours and lightning with this activity. None of this. I'm not really anticipating severe weather up here, but we'll be watching that. Angela is asking, what about the Grand Rapids Northwest 59504 area for tonight? Are we still getting thunderstorms? Yes, we still have thunderstorm potential, and you are at a marginal risk for severe weather. If I pull that back up, sorry about that. We'll pull that up. Again, that is going to be, I will say, in Kent County, we're not particularly worried about as much about a tornado threat as we are for areas from Lansing south. We'll say from Wayland to Lake Odessa towards the DeWitt area and Point South is where we have a little bit more of a tornado threat, but even then, that's still relatively low. Taking a look, but our main threats in Kent County, if we do see severe weather, is going to be damaging wind gusts and this brown shading, and also hail. We'll be watching for hail potential as well. But again, I think our severe threat is not as high the further north you go. So while it's not zero, we'll be watching for it throughout the afternoon and evening. It's not going to be, I don't think it's going to be as severe as it could potentially be down towards the south. But to answer your question, Angela, yes, we still have thunderstorm potential tonight in the Grand Rapids area, or northwest Grand Rapids. It looks like we do have severe warnings going up back towards the Chicago and back towards the Quad Cities area. So these are for 60 mile per hour wind gusts and penny size hail, and also 60 mile per hour penny size hail. All right, going to our live feed real quick. Looks like Jonah has some hail falling near the Mendon area. Again, there's some hail falling in the Mendon area on our live stream, on our live feed. Just pulling that up for a moment. It's looking like small hail for the moment. We'll continue to be watching that as these storms continue. We zoom in. And we are showing a couple areas of potential hail. One near the just to the northwest of Mendon, heading into especially the north side of Mendon, and then back towards the Leonidas and Colon areas. We're watching some signs of maybe some hail as well. Go back to our Doppler radar. Take that full. I was going to say, Joan, I think I had you muted, but I did take your feed from time to time, including just now. I didn't unmute you, but yeah, we did see it. Unmute you, but and so yeah, we have small hail being produced, including what you just saw on our live feed. Just a few moments ago near the Mendon area, and that's what any of these storms that have developed across southern Michigan could be capable of for the next few hours. We are watching other cells. Janice is mentioning the Burr Oak area. I will say Burr Oak, the strongest storm, we did just have a cell pass through not that long ago. But most of the storms right now are staying just to the north of Burr Oak. We are watching other cells back off to the west that may eventually move towards the Burr Oak area, including this one in southwestern Berrien County, back towards the Bridgman and New Troy areas. So again, do still have storm potential in the Burr Oak area over the next several hours. Again, none of these storms are severe. None of these storms are currently severe, but that could change if when one of these storms ramp up. That could change at a moment's notice. So that's why we're just live here, just kind of. And since we do have our live feed from time to time, that we can go back to as well from Jonah, who is near the Mendon area still in St. Joseph County. Looks like we got a new special weather statement coming in. That is going to be for Berrien and Cass counties. That is going to be for penny-sized hail and 50-mile-per-hour wind gusts. That is going to be likely for this cell. Shorewood, Towered Hills Harbor, or 11 miles west of Buchanan. Yep, it's going to be for this cell right here near the New Troy and Bridgman areas. That is going to be for 50-mile-per-hour wind gusts and penny-sized hail potentially with this storm. We'll go ahead and do a storm track on this storm that is in southwestern Berrien County, I should say. Moving to the east at around 40 miles per hour. That's going to take it into the Berrien Springs area around 640. The Pokagon area around 651. The Dowagiac area around 657. Cassopolis around 703. And the Volhynia area around 709. Penn around 709 as well. And Vandalia around 711. So again, if you're in or near any of the areas I'm calling out, also Eau Claire, Buchanan, Niles, Now's the time you want to head indoors. We got a strong thunderstorm moving in. That'll be moving in over the next little while, capable of penny-sized hail and a 50-mile-per-hour wind gusts. So again, we do have other special weather statements. Trying to clear that one. There we go. We do have other special weather statements in effect for St. Joseph and Branch counties. Also, a small portion of Van Buren County, very small southeast corner, and also southern portions of Kalamazoo County into Calhoun and Jackson counties. That is for these storms that are moving off to the east as well. And then also, this is outside of our coverage area, but for those of you in Washtenaw and Wettaway counties, we got special weather statements as well for half-inch hail and 40 to 50 mile per hour wind gusts. Lowell is asking again, how bad is the storm going to be in Shelby Township? Again, mainly what I'm seeing right now is small hail and gusty winds. But any one of these storms could ramp up and maybe produce a little bit larger hail, maybe quarter size or 1 inch in diameter, or maybe wind gusts up to around 60 miles per hour or so. We do have a report near the Moscow area. This is going to be in northern Hillsdale County. 7 minutes ago, we do have a 45-mile-per-hour wind gust that was recorded. This is from a trained spotter. Spotter estimates wind gusts between 40 to 50 miles an hour. Also has pea-size hail and torrential rainfall. So that's been the theme with most of these storms today. Gusty winds, 40 to 50 miles per hour. And hail and small hail. Ola's, okay, sorry. Thanks for asking so many questions. That's all right. No need to be sorry for asking questions. That's what we're here for, is to answer them as much as we can. Copy. Thank you very much for that update. So Jonah is moving to the west. He's heading towards the cell in Berrien County. That's going to be heading towards Cass County. So Jonah right now is repositioning and heading in that direction. Corey's saying I live in Niles and got anxiety. So Corey, again, I understand that weather anxiety is a real thing. I do want to reassure you the storm's not currently severe. We do have the potential for small hail and gusty winds. Hail up to around penny size in diameter, which is not severe limits. And winds 40 to 50 miles per hour, also currently not severe limits. We are watching these storms in case they do ramp up a little bit and do produce a little bit more of a hail and wind threat. But right now it is not severe. The best thing you can do is just stay inside, let the storm pass on by, and we'll get through this together. You'll be all right. Rest assured. As long as you do the right thing, just be inside, and you'll be all right. Other storms ongoing off to the west over Lake Michigan that will be beginning to move on shore. If we have a special marine warning, looks like from the National Weather Service in Chicago. That's going to be for small hail and wind gusts around 40 knots, so 40 to 50 miles per hour. So again, none of these storms have been severe thus far. It has mainly been small hail and gusty winds. That could still change later this evening as we head through the evening. But so far, we've avoided the severe weather, and we are hopeful this trend will continue as we head through the afternoon and really into the evening hours, I should say. You're very welcome, Corey. Glad I can provide some reassurance. It looks like we got a report coming in here from This is going to be from the Free Rivers area. This is at 5:50. Members of the public are reporting nickel-size hail. This is from a little bit earlier in the Free Rivers area, around 5:50. Media relayed picture of hail in Free Rivers around nickel size. Again, this was around 5:50 when that report came in. This is from the Free Rivers area. Lydia is asking, how long will you be on today? Really, as long as necessary. We're just on right now with the. I know typically we would not be on if there's no warnings, but with Jonah out in the field and these storms being borderline, we decided to just hop on and keep you guys up to date. But if we start getting warnings, Lydia, we would not go off the air until either those warnings stop, or if anything was to happen here in my location. I'm up in Gratiot County. If anything was to happen here to force me off the air, but even then we have redundancies in place that would allow us to come back. But we don't plan on going anywhere anytime soon, Lydia. You're welcome, very welcome there. So again, it looks like we have a report of half-inch hail in the last few minutes, also near the Shorewood and Tower Hill areas. Or I should say, yep, Shorewood Tower Hill area of half-inch hail. This is around 8 minutes ago. This is from a train spotter. Looks like they had a spotter reports half-inch hail fell from 6:10 to 6:20. So again, what these storms have been mainly doing today is small hail. We did have that on stream a little bit ago. I was back near the Mendon area in between Mendon and Three Rivers in this is gonna be St. Joseph County. Jonah, again, if you are wondering, is repositioning right now, heading west towards this activity in the Berrien and Cass counties. And again, we're just continuing to watch these storms as they continue to move off to the east. Fortunately, none of them have reached severe limits yet, but that we're just watching the potential. And we also have our live feed that we do have been occasionally switching to. Again, Jonah is currently repositioning, heading west towards this activity into Berrien and into Cass counties. Taking a look at this activity a little bit closer. Looks like our strongest hail core right now is going to be near the Baroda and Snow areas east of Bridgman. That's going to be moving into Berrien Springs over the next few minutes. Could be some smaller hail, potentially. Some small hail, up to penny size is possible with this storm. Yeah, another cell near Cassopolis that could be producing at the very least heavy downpours, if not some smaller hail. So again, most of these storms, we got other storms ongoing. In eastern Jackson County, near the Leone, Napoleon, and Brooklyn areas, we're watching some other storm activity. Again, not likely to be severe. This right now, not severe, but we are continuing to watch it. And that will be moving east into Washtenaw and into northern Wenaway counties over the next several minutes. So that'll be out of our coverage area. Again, we're also watching storms back off to the west near the Union City, Sherwood areas, Girard, over towards Litchfield, Homer. Just some of the areas likely seeing at the very least heavy downpours and thunder and lightning right now. I'm not seeing anything super concerning with this activity at this time. We'll continue. In fact, it looks like it's on a little bit of a weakening trend, maybe. So that trend will continue. But our strongest storms right now are going to be in Berrien County, especially. especially southern Berrien County. We are watching other storms off to the west that will still have to move on shore. And we do have a severe warning in effect. Southwest, south and west of the Chicago area, just near the Homer Glen, Oak Forest area in Illinois. We'll be watching that activity as it moves off to the east. It does look like we got special marine warnings going up. Kind of on the west side of Lake Michigan and near Wisconsin shoreline. We got special marine warnings going up. That is like for a broken line of strong thunderstorms. Broken line of strong thunderstorms are located along a line extending from 19 nautical miles northwest of Cedar Grove near Port Washington. These are also moving to the northeast at around 35 knots. Main concern with that is wind gusts 34 knots or greater, so 40 miles per hour or greater. And that is associated with this cold front that is now beginning to move in the lower Michigan. We got an updated image. This is based on the Weather Prediction Center. Our cold front right now is stretching from near the Petoskey area, near Traverse City, near Manistee, back across Lake Michigan and into Wisconsin, Illinois, and Iowa. That is the focus for some storm activity up here. This is less likely to be severe, but could produce some gusty winds as well. That'll be moving into our area over the next several hours as well. We got a new special marine warning coming in. Let me go back to the other radar. That's going to be for this cell right here also. Over Lake Michigan, that'll be moving to the east and onshore over the next little while. Looks like they are going wind to 40 knots, so 45, maybe 50 miles an hour. And hail size is wind gusts to 40 knots and small hail. It looks like they're going with for this special marine warning. That is going to be for the Lake Michigan shoreline and also mid-lake waters from roughly St. Joseph towards New Buffalo. The New Buffalo area is where we're watching this special marine warning. Again, for wind gusts to around 40 to 50 miles an hour and small hail. That has been the theme of most of these storms today. They're not quite severe so far, but they are producing definitely some small hail, definitely some gusty winds. We've had confirmation of both hail and strong winds with these storms. Not severe levels so far, fortunately, and we are hopeful that trend does continue. But the strongest storms we are watching right now is near the Berrien Springs area. Is where we're seeing some of the stronger activity. We're also seeing activity near the Pokagon area and near Cassopolis as well. So again, then we're also still watching activity further to the east, near the Union City area towards Girard, also in the southern Calhoun County, in the Jackson County as well, and northern Hillsdale County. None of this activity is severe, and none of it really. It's just heavy downpours, maybe definitely some frequent lightning with this activity at least. Also, maybe some small hail. We'll take a look at some of our products there. Let's go to hail tracker real quick on that. Pull up our hail tracker. Again, nothing really super impressive with this activity. Maybe a little bit of a hail signal. Near the Leone and Grass Lakes area, we're seeing maybe a signal for some small hail. But none of it's really looking super impressive. Our signal back off to the west, near the Berrien Springs area, is looking weaker as well. Not really as impressive of a signal there either. Again, if any of you are watching and you're being impacted by these storms, and if you're seeing anything such as small hail or gusty winds or anything like that, feel free to let us know what you're seeing. You can let us know in chat. We are watching chat this evening. You can also let us know on our website. Go to www.westmichiganweather.net. There's a place there where you can submit those storm reports. That is going to be um, westmichiganweather.net/report is where you're going to want to go to submit those storm reports to us. And yeah, feel free to let us know what you're seeing. In fact, Anne is letting us know I'm in the Leone area. We are having tiny little ice balls. Okay, so you got small hail going on going in the Leone area. Thank you for that, Anne. Taking a look at radar there, I can confirm that. In Niles off of 12, it's just windy. Sun's still leaking out, but is rainy somewhat. Thank you, Corey, for that. Taking a look at radar, I can that matches up with what I'm seeing on radar. It does look like the strongest storms so far is really passing just to the north of Niles right now. We are watching this activity over the lake. That'll be moving in over the next little while and could be producing maybe some hail and gusty winds. We'll be continuing to watch that as it moves off to the east. Yeah, that's just the main thing we've been seeing with these storms so far this evening. None of them have been severe so far. Now, given that's still a possibility throughout the evening, but again, we'll be continuing to watch these storms. Again, our severe potential does go through the evening and into really into the early overnight hours. I do think by around 2 a.m. and 3 a.m. at the very latest, we'll be able to wrap up our severe weather threat. We do have severe warnings ongoing south of the Chicago area right now. Fortunately, they've been staying south of us, south and west of us so far, but that's still a trend we'll be continuing to watch for throughout the evening. In fact, we'll do a general composite look. These numbers you're seeing on the screen, if you're curious, those are our dew points. In fact, I'll turn those off, kind of cluttering my screen a little bit. But again, those are our dew points. That's one of the things we've been watching today behind the scenes is our moisture return. So far, the better moisture has been really along the state line and points south. And that is going to limit our severe threat, especially further to the north. Further to the north, we are watching some showers and storms. Along our cold front, that is beginning to move into our area. Our cold front, which extends from northern lower, from our low pressure system in northern lower, and we're watching some showers and thunderstorms ahead develop. None of these are severe, but could produce some gusty winds as well. We do have severe warnings off to our south and west near the Quad Cities area and again near Chicago. Nothing here locally right now. What we have right now is special weather statements for the potential of 50-mile-an-hour winds and hail up to around half-inch to penny size in diameter. We've had reports of hail up to around dime to penny size in diameter. And in fact, if you remember, if you were watching earlier, we had some small hail near the Mendon area on our live feed. So, and we've had several reports of small hail throughout the late afternoon and now into the evening. Corey says you helped me calm my anxiety. Thank you again so much. Happy to help with that, Corey. Yeah, weather anxiety is a real thing, guys, and we are glad that I'm glad that I could help out with that. So take a look at some things behind the scenes. Take a look at just looking at mesoanalysis real quick. We do have guy Marquette is saying the wind is cranking in Marquette, chasing down power lines and fires. Yes, you do bring good thing you brought that up. We do have that's been plenty of there's been plenty of issues with that, especially off to our north into northern lower and the upper peninsula. We've had a lot of fires being reported up there due to the high winds, taking down a lot of them, taking down power lines. That's been causing some fire issues. In fact, I do know there was in Oscoda County. Up in northern lower Michigan, there's been evacuations near the Mayo area due to fires. I do know there's power outages going on up there due to the wind, taking down power lines. And really windy in South Bend. Yeah, it's been been quite windy today. I've been seeing gusts up over 40 miles per hour at times today, so it's been a windy day for sure. That will tend to um, wind down as we head through the as we head into tonight, especially once we get the front pass. That will tend to wind down a little bit. I will do want to pass along this update from the National Weather Service as I bring the radar back south. Um, from the National Weather Service in northern Indiana, I just wanted to pass along this update. Storms have developed along the Indiana-Michigan state line and are moving east-northeast this evening. Small hail, less than 1 inch, and gusty winds will continue to be the main threats. Heavy rain and flooding is also possible in southern lower Michigan. Again, so they do bring up, we are going to have to be watching for areas of heavy rainfall, especially across southern Michigan and along and south of I-94 as of right now. I bring that up because you can see how some of these storms have been training over the same area. Luckily, it's not been a constant storm. There's been breaks in between, but still, when you get storms beginning to train over the same area, you get plenty of heavy rainfall in a relatively short period of time. That's when you start getting flooding issues. So we will have to be watching that, especially along and south of I-94 right now is my highest concern for that. And there's plenty of storms off to the west, back across Illinois, and even into Iowa that we'll still have to watch as well. So then we got additional storms off to the north along the cold front. So again, we are getting a little more concerned about areas of localized flooding potentially, especially along and south of I-94 is my concern for that right now. So just something to be aware of as we head through the rest of the afternoon. Well, rest of the evening, I should say. We're still watching some of these storms. We're still watching the storm near the Cassopolis area. That is, I think, one of our stronger storms right now. I'm just actually going to check in. Yeah, we're watching a little bit of a hail core near the Cassopolis area near LaGrange. We're watching a hail core right now. Go to my hail tracker. Real quick on that. Yeah, a little bit of a hail signal there. Just a second. Just communicating this to Jonah, who is out in the field. Hey, Jonah, this is Jacob. I just wanted to pass along this update from the National Weather Service in northern Indiana. That states storms have developed along the Indiana-Michigan state line and are moving east-northeast this evening. Small hail west than 1 inch and gusty winds will continue to be the main threats. Heavy rain and flooding is also possible in southern lower Michigan. I just wanted to pass that along.
In Green Bay, Wisconsin, for strong storms that are forming along the cold front heading this way. So I'm just kind of watching at this point, and I'll keep you posted what our plans are here.
Sounds good. Thank you. Yep, feel free to let me know. All right, so just checking in with Jonah. He is watching this activity. Um, and across Marion County into Cass County, he is watching this activity, and what goes on with this will kind of determine what's going on in the future. Out of our live feed from out in the field, but also eventually coverage. I will say we are watching this storm. In addition to the storm near Cassopolis that's showing a little bit of a hail signal, I will say we are watching one of the more impressive ones I've seen today. Near the Michigan City area, just offshore Michigan City. That could eventually become an issue for southern Berrien County. I will say this is one of the more impressive reflectivity signals I've seen today, and just something we are continuing to watch for as it moves off to the east. So heads up for areas like New Buffalo Township, Michiana, Free Oaks as well, and really southwestern Berrien County. If this storm does continue with its strength, I would not be surprised, just based on reflectivity presentation alone, that we see a severe thunderstorm warning be issued. I'm going to take a look actually at Hail Tracker. That's what I meant to do real quick. Yeah, that's one of the more impressive Hail Tracker signals I've seen today. Near the right over Lake Michigan right now. That'll be moving off to the east. We're gonna have to watch that as that begins to move on shore. In fact, I'll go ahead and do storm track. Carry that off to the east northeast. 35 miles per hour. So let me just a second. It looks like it's not showing on screen for some reason. So just a second. I'm gonna do a quick adjustment. Second, guys, just doing some on the fly adjustments. I'm gonna go over to my other scene and adjust that real quick. So give me just a second. It's fine. There we go. Go back to my main. There we go. So just wanted to fix that so you guys can actually see the locations. Give me just a second. Just adjusting some things on the fly. Okay. Get that back up. Uh, okay. So again, if you're the New Buffalo Township area around 714, Free Oaks around 726, New Troy around 733, Bridgman around 735, Galion area around 736, Stevensville around 742, Buchanan 748, Berrien Springs around 753, Sodus area around 755, and Niles around 757. That is going to be for that storm, which is showing one of our more impressive signatures for hail that I've seen today. There's also this storm off to the north, offshore of Bridgman, that we're watching as well. That could be showing a little bit more of a hail signal. Close that out. There we go. Again, taking that off to the east northeast. That'll take it into the Stevensville area around 710, Shoreham around 713, St. Joseph around 717. The Sodus area again for that particular cell is going to be 723. The Coloma area around 733. Keeler area around 741. Hartford around 7:45. Again, if that storm does hold together. But I will say, we're also watching some storms across Cass County, moving back into the St. Joseph County near the Fabius area. These storms are also capable of producing small hail and maybe some gusty winds, in addition to heavier downpours. Further to the east across Jackson County, what I'm mainly seeing here is heavy downpours and lightning. I'm not seeing too much to suggest a severe threat with that. We'll keep watching it. In fact, our weather statement does expire in about 10 minutes, so and none of that's looking extremely impressive to me. But central and southern portions of Jackson County, you're likely seeing some heavier downpours right now. But again, our main focus is going to be with these storms across Cass into St. Joseph County, back through Berrien County, and especially over the lake. They are updating our special marine warning. They're going large hail now with that on our special marine warning near New Buffalo Township. Again, that is for the Lake Michigan waters near from St. Joseph to New Buffalo Township. They are going large hail now on our special marine warning. That goes for the next 10 minutes. So we'll have to watch both of these cells, I should say, excuse me. As they move on shore, we'll have to be watching these storms. If they stay strong, they could be producing some hail as well and gusty winds. And if they are strong enough, they could prompt a severe thunderstorm warning for Berrien County. We'll be watching that in the short term over the next several minutes. Again, if you're further to the north, if you're north of I-94, you're not seeing too much right now. It's dry. It's been windy today, but not too much in the way of rainfall. That cell we were watching that tried to develop earlier near Charlotte, that's died off. Not seeing too much of signs of activity there. We do have activity off to the northwest over Lake Michigan that we'll have to be watching for. Again, the severe threat with that is relatively low, but we'll have to be watching again for some gusty winds, potentially of that activity. Now we are watching still strong to severe thunderstorms as I go to composite across northern Illinois and back towards the Quad Cities area, really into Illinois now. We have severe thunderstorm warning. It looks like we got severe thunderstorm warnings now coming in for, this is going to be for that cell we were just watching over the lake. We got a severe thunderstorm warning now coming in for southwestern portions of Berrien County. This is going to be for 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts and quarter-size hail. This warning is going to go for the next 36 minutes until 7:30 p.m. this evening. This is a new severe thunderstorm warning coming in for southwestern Berrien County in our coverage area. At 6:52 p.m., a severe thunderstorm was located near Potawatomi Park or near the Michigan City area, moving off to the east at 40 miles per hour. Again, our primary hazard here is going to be 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts and quarter-size hail. Source on that's going to be radar indicated. Impact hail damage to vehicles is expected. Expect wind damage to roofs, siding, and trees. So if you are in this severe thunderstorm warning in southwestern Berrien County, for your protection, move to an interior room on the lowest floor of a building. And again, so this is a new severe thunderstorm warning that has just come in for southwestern Berrien County. That is going to be for this cell getting ready to move on shore near the New Buffalo Township area. We'll go to our hail tracker on this, and then we'll also take a look at our velocity product. Give me just a second to do that. Liquid. We are showing a decent signal. This scan's a little bit delayed on the hail tracker, but showing a signal for some hail there northwest of the Michigan City area. That's going to be moving into the New Buffalo Township area over the next several minutes. So if you are in the New Buffalo area, you need to be heading indoors right now in that sturdy structure, preferably away from those windows, and let this storm pass on by. We'll go to our velocity product real quick and flip between that. Maybe some gustier winds there. over Lake Michigan as well. A little storm relative. Maybe a little bit of rotation there as well. Um, Again, this is going to be west of New Buffalo area. Not concerned about a tornado threat with us at this time, but we'll be continuing to watch that. This is mainly a hail and wind threat, but what that is a sign of this is a strong updraft, a very strong storm. As that moves off to the east, we've got the potential for quarter-size hail and 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts moving into the New Buffalo Township and Free Oaks area, New Troy as well. So again, if you are in these areas, and Bridgman as well, if you're in these areas, I need you to be going indoors into a sturdy structure right now, preferably on the lower floors away from those windows. We'll go ahead and do a storm track. Get our storm track tool up. We'll track that off to the east and northeast. Clear that. I just want to get the correct storm motion from the warning that's tracking it off to the east at around 40 miles per hour. So update that to around 40 miles per hour. That's going to take it into the New Buffalo Township area within the next few minutes, around 7:08. The Three Oaks area around 7:19. The New Troy area around 7:25. The Galeen area around 7:28. Buchanan around 7:38. Berrien Springs around 7:43. Niles around looks like that's going to be 7:47, and Eau around 7:47 as well. So heads up for you in the Niles area as well. You're not under in Buchanan area. You're not under a severe thunderstorm warning yet, but if the storm does hold its strength, severe thunderstorm warnings may eventually be required for the rest of Berrien County as well. Again, if the storm does hold together. So this has been our first severe thunderstorm warning of the evening. Near the for southwestern Berrien County. On my radar, it doesn't show any red. Different radars might show it differently, but on our radar here, we are showing a relatively strong storm. Potentially severe storm now moving into southwestern Berrien County. Again, oops, let me do that. Okay, we're clear of that. And again, further off to the east, we are watching other storms besides our severe thunderstorm warning. We are watching another stronger storm moving into the Three Rivers area that could be producing some small hail. Another cell showing that potential near the Marcellus area. In fact, that is where Jonah is at right now. Taking a look at the feed on the left side of the screen. Yes, we are watching chat. Just so you know, we are watching chat. But again, some other storms near the Wajak area. And another stronger cell near the Bridgman area. Not currently severe. Our severe storm is moving into the New Buffalo Township area over the next several minutes. So we have new special marine warning coming in. They are going large hail and 50-knot winds on this cell near the New Buffalo Township area. 50-knot winds and large hail with this storm near the Michigan City area. That is on a special marine warning. That is to match our severe thunderstorm warning that is in effect, which does include southwestern portions of Berrien County. Rashid is asking about Hammond, Indiana. That is outside of our coverage area. Our focus is primarily on western Lower Michigan. So, not really too familiar with the Hammond area in Indiana. But I will say that there is storms ongoing in that area. There is strong storms. There's severe thunderstorm warnings in effect there. But our primary focus is on Michigan here, Rashid, just so you know. There is strong to severe storms ongoing there right now. again. Um, so again, our main focus right now is on the severe thunderstorm. Get ready to move on shore here in the southwestern Berrien County near New Buffalo area. This has the potential for 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts and quarter-size hail. This severe thunderstorm warning does continue for the next half an hour or so. Again, this warning does go until 7:30 this evening, and is going to be again for the potential of quarter-size hail and 60-mile-per-hour winds. Um, so again, this is our only severe thunderstorm warning in effect across our coverage area. This has been our only severe thunderstorm warning so far today. We did have several special weather statements that have been allowed to expire. So besides that and our special marine warnings, we're not safe. We don't have any active alerts right now. There's still some special weather statements over in southeast lower. But again, this is focusing right now on our only severe thunderstorm warnings. I zoom back in. Again, if you're in New Buffalo Township area right now, it's starting getting ready to pick up over towards New Buffalo. The Free Oaks area, it will be picking up over the next few minutes. Also, the Turner Shores, Hazelhurst area, Shorewood Hills, Bridgman area, you're in this warning. So the Grand Beach community, Forest Beach. If you're in any of these areas, I am calling out. Also, again, Free Oaks back towards over towards New Troy. If you're in any of these areas, you need to be inside right now, preferably in that sturdy structure away from the windows. Yeah, just with the hail and wind potential, you want to err on the side of caution. No hooks and no rotation. I would say take a look at velocity. We can take a look at that. These storms are kind of rotating. We can kind of see that here, northwest of the New Buffalo area. That does not necessarily mean they're going to be tornadic, but that is a sign that these are some stronger storms that are likely produce at least hail and wind potential. But again, that is definitely a possibility here over the next several minutes, especially near the New Buffalo, Turner Shores, Union Pier areas as these storms do continue to move on shore. We'll take a look at a hail tracker again real quick on it, just get an update on that. I will say our signal for hail has large hail at the very least, has come down a little bit near the New Buffalo area. But still some hail possibility with this storm, and definitely gusty to damaging wind potential as these storms continue to move on shore. So you still want to take the storm seriously. Definitely get indoors right now in that sturdy structure. In New Buffalo, Free Oaks, New Troy, Bridgman area. Stevensville, we got another cell which could be producing some small hail that we will be moving that's moving in right now. Not severe at this current point in time. The severe activity is going to be in southwestern Berrien County. But still, you'll want to be inside right now in the Stevensville area. We're also watching this cell near the Centerville area, just east of Three Rivers. That could still be producing some small hail. There's no warnings or statements on this storm right now, but just northeast of the Three Rivers area over towards Parkville, we're seeing a little bit of signal of maybe some small hail of this storm. Further off to the east, this is mainly looking like rain showers at this time. Near the into Jackson and Hillsdale counties, Branch County as well. We will be watching these storms as they move off to the east and northeast. And if you're further off to the north, I know we haven't really mentioned these areas yet. That's just because there's not been a whole lot going on. It's been dry. We've had gusty winds, but nothing in terms of severe weather. And severe threat, I don't want to say it's totally zero, especially down towards I-96. Once you get further north there, I think our severe threat's relatively low. But this activity could still produce gusty winds, still some heavy rainfall and lightning, but I'm not overly concerned about severe weather up here. We only do Michigan because that is our primary coverage area. Um, so again, there's other sources out there if you're looking for more localized coverage for those of you watching out of our area. I cannot particularly focus on out-of-state severe thunderstorms. Our primary focus is in West Michigan. So, but again, uh, our only severe thunderstorm warning. I know we've been on air for going on an hour and a half now, earlier for special weather statements, but we do have a severe thunderstorm warning now that has been in effect for a little while for southwest Berrien County. Our storm is moving on shore right now near the New Buffalo area. I will say it's not looking as impressive as it did earlier on reflectivity, but still certainly could be producing quarter-size hail and 60-mile-per-hour winds. Take a look at our velocity signals. I'm not really seeing anything. I like to take a look at other radars too, though. This is Chicago radar. Not seeing anything extremely impressive on it. I will say Grand Rapids, it's looking a little bit higher, but I am seeing. This is higher up. I'm seeing 40 to 50 miles an hour between 8 and 55 miles per hour, maybe between 8 and 10,000 feet. That's higher up and not necessarily reaching the surface. We're just showing the winds are strong, at least higher up in the storm. And that could come down to the surface. So, again, in southwestern Berrien County, we do have severe warnings in effect until 7:30 p.m. this evening. We're watching this other cell near the Stevensville area, not currently severe, just southwest of St. Joseph. But take a look just on reflectivity. You can see our purples and pinks just north of Stevensville. That could be at least some small hail ongoing right now. And we're also watching this cell further east near the Centerville area. As it moves off to the east. So near Mendon, you'll likely see some small hail, if not already, in the next few minutes. Also, Leonidas and Colon areas will be moving. That'll be moving in over the next few minutes. Okay, so again, take a look, a general reset of the entire situation here. We've had showers and thunderstorms moving across southern Michigan, particularly along and south of I-94. Has been our greatest coverage of storms so far this evening. We've had several special weather statements, and now a severe warning that is in effect for the next 20 minutes. Southwest Berrien County, that has been our only severe thunderstorm warning so far this evening. However, we do think a couple more do remain a possibility this evening. Really for areas along and south of I-96. And greatest chances for those are going to be south of I-94 and really towards the state line. Where our greatest potential for that is going to be. I do know the Storm Prediction Center was considering the issuance of a severe thunderstorm watch. They did have a mesoscale discussion out, which did indicate that potential. Whether that does end up happening remains to be seen. It could be that coverage just remains too isolated to necessitate a watch issuance, but that's something we'll be watching for throughout the evening. If we do get a severe thunderstorm watch, I do think better chances of that, again, will be along and south of I-96. That is really where we're most concerned about the potential for severe weather. We'll go back over real quick. We'll take a look. What am I ever seeing? We can go to our live feed. Again, Jonah is near the Decatur area right now, in Cass County, near the Decatur area. Likely heading west towards our storms. Back to our storms in Berrien County, which is producing some. Which we do have severe thunderstorm warnings again for the southwestern portion of the county, but we do have other storms ongoing across central Berrien County as well, central and maybe some northern portions here to St. Joseph area, Stevensville. We're watching another stronger storm, not currently severe up this way, but just something we are continuing to watch. Just taking a quick look at our live feed. So, again, earlier we had some small hail on our stream. That would have been near the Mendon area in St. Joseph County. We did have small hail on our stream earlier. We'll go back to take radar full for the moment. Jonah will let me know if we see anything else interesting on the stream. But going back to radar, taking that full. Again, we are continuing to watch these storms, mainly across Berrien County is where our strongest storms are right now. We are continuing to watch this cell across St. Joseph County near Mendon. If you're in the Mendon area, you're likely getting some small hail and gustier winds, along with heavy rainfall and likely some lightning. If you're in Van Buren and Kalamazoo County, we are watching some cells that have kind of flared up a little bit over the last several minutes. None of these are severe right now. We'll be watching those as well in case they do flare up. Further to the north, again, none of this activity is currently severe. This is associated with our cold front that'll be moving through the area this evening. And as this front clears, that will tend to end your severe weather threat. But again, this activity is mainly rainmakers, maybe some gustier winds from time to time. But I'm not seeing a concerning severe weather threat with this activity at this time. Where the Gaylord radar? Just to check on that. Again, nothing imminently concerning in terms of a severe threat of that activity, but we are watching it. And our main focus right now is on southern Michigan and really extreme southern Michigan. In Berrien County right now, where we do continue with our severe thunderstorm warning for the next 15 minutes or so. For the next 15 minutes. Taking a look at Hail Tracker. Let me get that pulled up. Just take a look at that real quick. Still showing some hail signal near the Stevensville area, near Shoreham. Glenlord is where we're seeing some hail signal. Also, a little bit of a hail signal, not as intense as it was earlier, near the Turner Shores area, near Hazelhurst. There was small hail in Jones, which is now passing Centerville. Thank you, Kyler, for that report. That would make sense with this cell. We've been watching that cell for the last little while. Yeah, there's still some indications, maybe some hail near the Mendon area heading towards Leonidas. But yeah, a lot of these storms have been producing small hail today. Fortunately, so far anyway, I have not seen any reports of severe hail, which is quarter size or greater in diameter. I have not seen any reports of that so far this evening. We do have a storm that could potentially be capable of that. However, I'm seeing less of a signal than I was earlier. It looks like we are going to a new special weather statement for Berrien, Cass, and St. Joseph counties. That's going to be for this whole complex of storms. That's going to go for the next 45 minutes. We have a new special weather statement coming in for the potential of penny-sized hail and 50-mile-an-hour wind gusts. That is going to go until 8 o'clock this evening. Again, that's for most of these storms here. It is likely they're going to end up replacing our severe thunderstorm warning with this. And again, we'll be continuing to watch these storms. Even once the severe thunderstorm warning expires, we're still going to stick with it since we do still have Jonah out in the field. In fact, we'll go to his live feed real quick. We do have what appears to be some decent structure. This is near the Dowajak area. It's where Jonah's located right now. You can see, at the very least, some structure with this storm. Again, that is looking west towards these storms in Berrien County. And again, we'll be continuing to watch these storms as they move off to the east. It does look like they have canceled our severe thunderstorm warning. Let me double check that. But our severe thunderstorm warning has been likely been canceled for Berrien County. That makes sense as these storms have kind of backed off a little bit in intensity. I'm just double checking on that. Yes, they have canceled our severe thunderstorm warning for Berrien County. They have canceled that. The storms have weakened below severe limits. That was likely to be the case, and why they replaced it with a new special weather state there. It's like our feed. It's temporarily frozen, so I'll go back to radar. It'll come back. It's just a cellular signal thing. KC is saying lots of wind so far, just a little rain. Yeah, definitely. It's definitely been a very gusty day across our area. In fact, I know further to the north, it's been causing some fire issues. We do expect the winds begin to slow down, especially once we get the cold front out of here. Winds should slow down a little bit. Take a look behind the scenes. Take a look at some model data real quick behind the scenes. So we notice our feed glitch, our live feed from Jonah glitching out. He's okay. It's just a low signal issue. Getting out into some of these more rural areas, our cell signal's just not the best. So we do what we can, what we got. So just taking a look at some things behind the scenes. If you're wondering about the wind gusts, those should begin to slow down later into the evening. So, especially once we get these storms out of here. Looks like our live feed has returned. You can see that on the left side of the screen as long as it's coming in. Looks like we do have a report 3 minutes ago near the Sodus area in Berrien County. This is going to be for so it's going to be nickel size hail near the Sodus area. This just came in within the last few minutes. So that's going to be with this cell in central Berrien County. Going to northern Berrien County near the St. Joseph area. Nickel size hail being reported with this storm. So even though it's not severe yet, still a relatively strong storm. Producing some hail, likely some gusty winds as well. So if you're in the Sodus area, you need to be indoors right now. Eau Claire, over towards, this will be in Van Buren County, the Keeler and Decatur areas as well. Dowajak as well. We're also watching this cell across southern Berrien County, near and just south of the Bridgman area, over towards New Troy. We're seeing again another cell. Both of these cells are capable of producing hail, not quite to severe levels, but the Sodus area we had within the last few minutes, nickel-sized hail being reported by a trained spotter. That does mean that That is almost severe level. If that intensifies any further, a new severe thunderstorm warning may be required. Tyler's saying cell signal out here, just like YouTube giving me a number. Yep. It's kind of one of the unfortunate things about some of these areas is we just don't have the best cell signal to work with. So, and we're also watching this cell still near the Colon and Leonidas area. That's not looking as intense as it was earlier, but nonetheless, still maybe some small hail and gustier winds near the Leonidas area. That's going to move into Sherwood and Union City over the next few minutes. But definitely right now, our strongest storms as of right now is definitely across Berrien County. That will be moving into Cass and southern Van Buren County over the next few minutes. And we'll go back to our live feed real quick from Jonah. Take a look at that. Again, he is near the Dowagiac area right now. This is looking off to the west at these storms. See, at the very least, definitely some structure. Definitely some storms there. We'll have to see what these storms produce here over the next several minutes as they continue to move off to the east. And this is looking west from north of Dowagiac in the southern. Looks like he's into southern Van Buren County right now, north of the Dowagiac area. So he's likely intercepting this northern storm. He's getting ready to. So he's north of the Dowagiac area right now, near the county line. So, okay, we'll go back to radar. Strongest part of the storm has passed through the Sodus area. Again, we did have nickel-size hail reported in the last few minutes near the Sodus area. Now I'll be heading into Keeler over the next few minutes. Take a look at a few of our other products. Let me go to Hail Tracker. That storm real quick. And pulling that up. And this is a little bit delayed, but I think we'll go north of Jones, maybe to Marcellus. I do think this particular cell will be mainly across the northern portions of the county of Cass County. Yes, that will be more of a more maybe Marcellus issue, maybe Vollinia up towards Maple Island, Sandy Beach, and Glenwood, especially north of the Dowagiac area. We are watching this other cell right now. It's not looking all that impressive, at least on Hail Tracker. I can go to reflectivity again. Again, maybe a small hail signal near the Berrien Springs area. The northern cell I definitely think is the more impressive of the two right now. And that'll be more of a southern, we'll pretty much go along the county line, we'll say. Really be more of a southern Van Buren, I should say, and northern Cass County issue. Go ahead and do, as we get a new scan coming around, we'll go ahead and do a storm track on it. The Keeler area over the next few minutes. Decatur around 8:08. The Paw Paw area eventually around 8:22. The Lawton area around 8:25. The Almena area around 8:33. Portage around 8:58 if it holds together. Kalamazoo eventually around 9:01. Vicksburg around 9:02, and Parchment around 9:06. We have so many little town names. Yeah, definitely. I will say our mapping our radar system does tend to map out some of those what could be small towns or communities or even abandoned towns and stuff like that. points of interest our mapping system does pull up on here, so that pops up on the map if you zoom in far enough. So that's a lot of what we're seeing there, Kyler. Again, the strongest storm right now is definitely near the Sodus area, near the Napier area, Bainbridge Center is where I'm Sphinx Corners. That's where we're seeing our little seeing our hail core. Mouse VR, that is what we're covering here, is our storms. So to get across Michigan, really West Michigan is our primary focus here. And it looks like we got severe warning now coming in for this is going to be for Berrien and Cass counties. We have a new severe thunderstorm warning now coming in. This is going to be for that cell near the Sodus area. This is going to be for the next 20 minutes. Jonah is on the severe thunderstorm warning as it moves off into the northeast. And I do think a warning may eventually be coming for those of you in southern Van Buren County as well. Copy, thank you. So again, if you are in Berrien and really east central Berrien County and northwestern Cass County, you are now under this severe thunderstorm warning. This is going to be for the next 20 minutes or so for quarter size hail and 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts. Again, for northwestern Cass and east central Berrien County, this goes until 7:45 p.m. this evening. At 7:25 p.m., a severe thunderstorm was located near the Coloma area or near Benton Heights and is moving east at 45 miles per hour. Again, primary hazard is 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts and quarter-size hail. Source on this is radar indicated. Again, Jonah is in the area of the storm, so we will get to see what the storm is producing over the next several minutes. Again, impact, hail damage to vehicles is expected. Expect wind damage to roofs, siding, and trees. Locations impacted include the Sodus area, Millburg, Magician Lake, Sphinx Corners, Dewey Lake, and Sandy Beach. For your protection, move to an interior room on the lowest floor of a building. This also includes Interstate 94, just a small section of Interstate 94. But again, the bulk of that storm has already passed off to the east of I-94. We'll go back actually to our, take our feed, our live feed a little bit bigger. This is looking less at our severe thunderstorm. It looks like Grand Rapids is going to be going special weather statement instead of severe thunderstorm warning for Van Buren County, and they're also including Kalamazoo and Calhoun counties. That is going to be for this particular cell. They are going special weather statement for nickel-size hail and 50-mile-per-hour wind gusts. So again, nonetheless, if you are in Van Buren County, especially southern Van Buren County, where I think has the greatest threat from this cell, you'll definitely want to be inside. I do want to do a storm track. Let me go ahead and do that. Off some of the locations potentially impacted by the storm. It's going to be in the Keeler area over the next few minutes. Towards the Decatur area around 7:49. Paw Paw around 7:56. The Lawton area around 7:58. Let me actually roll that up a little bit more so you can see that. The Almena area around 8:02. The Portage area around 8:16. Kalamazoo around 8:18. Let me hide my camera so you can see a few more of those locations. The Vicksburg area around 8:18, Richland 8:29, and Climax around 8:33. A few more locations include Battle Creek around 8:45, the Burlington area around 8:49, and also the Asira area around 8:52. Again, that is for our strong to severe thunderstorm getting ready to move out of Berrien County in the northwestern Cass, and especially in the southern Van Buren County. I'll go ahead and pull my camera back up. We'll go ahead and clear our storm track. Again, the strongest part of this storm right now is moving into a southwestern Van Buren County near the Keeler area. Again, if you're near the Sodus area, the storm's moving out. You definitely want to remain inside for a few minutes, just with the threat of lightning still in the area as the storm departs. But definitely the strongest part of the storm will be moving into southwestern Van Buren County over the next several minutes. We'll take a look at hail tracker on this storm, and again, take a look at that. Definitely not as impressive of a signal as there was earlier, but definitely still some signal for hail near the Sodus area. That is what prompted our severe thunderstorm warning. So we do have confirmation of some fairly small hail from Jonah in the Keeler area. At least some small hail ongoing. Let me go ahead. Go back to reflectivity. That does match up with what we're seeing on reflectivity. Go ahead and take our feed a little bit bigger again. And we do have, this is near the Keeler area in southwestern Van Buren County. Jonah Drake is in the area. We are seeing, we do have reports of at least some small hail ongoing. So again, and we do not have a severe thunderstorm warning for Van Buren County. The National Weather Service of Grand Rapids has opted to go special weather statement. But if you are in the Keeler area, along with Decatur, the Lawton area, Paw Paw, you'll definitely want to be inside right now as the storm continues to move in the Van Buren County. We do have, again, confirmation of small hail ongoing near the Keeler area on our live stream feed here from Jonah. Again, he is in southwestern Van Buren County near the Keeler area. As the storm continues to move through, we did have at least a little bit of small hail being produced. This warning, this severe thunderstorm warning does continue for the next 10 minutes or so across not Van Buren, East Central Berrien County and Northwestern Cass County. For small sections of those counties, I do think the strongest part of this storm is really moving into Van Buren County right now, particularly southern portions of the county. Let me go ahead and take radar full here again. And again, this is our only severe thunderstorm warning in effect right now. We do have some special weather statements that do remain in effect. I do think we'll be letting go of our severe thunderstorm warning a little bit early, as the strongest part of the storm is really moving out of Berrien County and really tracking to the north of Cass County. I will say if you're near Sister Lakes, Maple Island, and Sandy Beach, you're likely seeing at least some heavier downpours, maybe some smaller hail and gustier winds. But the strongest part of the storm, including the hail, is really moving into Van Buren County as of right now. Yeah, on our live feed, you can see the heavy downpours falling near Keeler area, and that's where we had confirmation just moments ago of some small hail. And take a look further to the east, we still have this cell ongoing, not looking as impressive as it was earlier, but maybe some brief downpours near the Union City area. Also some downpours ongoing across eastern Van Buren into Kalamazoo County, including the Kalamazoo area. Take a look at this storm from another radar site. Again, same general idea. Small hail, likely ongoing near the Keeler area. It looks like they are letting our severe thunderstorm warning go. Let me double check that. Yes, they have dropped our severe thunderstorm warning for Berrien and Cass County. They have canceled that warning. That was to be expected as these storms really move out of the warning area and in the Van Buren County. Again, we do not have active severe thunderstorm warnings for Van Buren County. The National Weather Service in Grand Rapids has opted to instead go with some special weather statements for Van Buren, Kalamazoo, and Calhoun counties for the potential of nickel-sized hail and 50-mile-per-hour wind gusts. Again, mainly with this storm into southwest and moving into southern Van Buren County. Go back to our live feed again real quick. I do apologize for the quality from time to time. That is unfortunately a limitation of the cell signal. Take the trees out in the way. So again, we have Jonah Drake out in the field. He's been out in the field this evening across southwestern Michigan, really towards the state line, watching these storms. Fortunately, most of these have behaved for the most part and stayed below severe limits, but we have had a couple severe thunderstorm warnings so far this evening. Mainly for Berrien and into Cass counties where we've seen our severe warnings. Let's go back to our feed. It looks like we got yep, we do have our feed here. We do have a nice rainbow on our stream here. Again, this is going to be near the Keeler area. Just a nice rainbow to look at along with our storms this evening. Kind of almost looks like a double rainbow, kind of, at least on from what I can see. Again, just something to look at as these storms continue to move off to the east. Again, the strongest part of this storm right now is near the Keeler area, near Hartford. Moving east, we'll be in the Decatur, Lawton, Mattawan areas. Paw over the next several minutes. In fact, let me just throw up a storm track on this storm. Carry it off to the east around 40 miles per hour. And I do want to take this full just for a moment so we can get a better view on the locations on the radar source. Again, Paw area around 7:58. That's going to be for the strongest part of this storm. Lawton around 8 o'clock. Portage around 8:20. Kalamazoo around 8:22. Vicksburg around 8:23. The climax area around 8:39. Battle Creek around 8:51. Let me take my camera off just for a moment so you can see the rest of our locations. Burlington around 8:57. The Osira area around 9 o'clock. Copy, thank you. Appreciate the update with that. So again, we are watching this storm as it continues to move off to the east. Jonah was just updating me behind the scenes. We do have a little bit of a supercell structure with this storm. Yeah, not necessarily saying it's severe, um, but nonetheless, we are continuing to watch it. If it does ramp up again, we'll see more severe warnings. But I just want to go back to take our feed bigger again. And again, just look. Quite the rainbow at the very least with this storm. Jonah is near the Decatur area right now. Back to our radar. And again, this is the main storm we've been watching for the last little bit. Not currently severe, but just has a little bit of supercell structure. Jonah was just updating me behind the scenes. Um, And again, the main concern of these storms right now, they are below severe limits, but could be producing nickel-sized hail and 50-mile-per-hour wind gusts. Again, earlier, just a little bit ago, near the Keeler area in southwest Van Buren County, we did have at least some small hail falling. Photos asking how is Kerrsville looking for tonight. Not really too sure where that is. You have to mention a little more than that. I'm not really too sure on where that is. Dakota. But again, watching these storms, mainly across southern Van Buren County, still capable of producing some hail and gusty winds. And then we're also still watching some shower activity across the rest of the I-94 corridor, across portions of Kalamazoo and Calhoun counties. We do have special weather statements still in effect for Berrien, Cass, and St. Joseph County as well. And we are watching this cell kind of along the state line near New Buffalo. The New Buffalo area, we are watching this cell. That could be producing some small hail and gusty winds at this time. Not necessarily severe, but we are continuing to watch it. We are watching additional storms back towards the Chicago area as well. And we do have severe thunderstorm warnings across portions of northern Illinois right now. We will have to continue to watch these storms as well as they move to the east. We'll have to watch these cells as well for a continued severe weather threat for the next little bit. And further to the north, I also want to go further to the north. We are watching this activity um, to the north across central and northern lower Michigan. I'm not seeing any signs of imminent severe weather with it. Mainly just some thunder showers, maybe some gusty winds with it. But I'm not seeing anything overly concerning with this activity. Just some downpours, maybe some gustier winds, and some thunder and lightning. But I'm not seeing anything overly concerning with it. Our main concern, at least for right now, continues to be across really areas along and south of I-94. I'm going to go back to our live shot. Got some cool structure with this storm. Again, Jonah is near the Decatur area in southern Van Buren County, at least according to our location tool. I can actually better of an answer for you. Jonah, if you are wondering, is going to be heading north, southern Van Buren County right now, over towards Hartford areas where we're watching right now. Just monitoring these storms. And we got the rainbow back again. Um, just some decent, just some structure with these storms at the very least. Again, these storms have had a history of producing some hail and gusty winds. I don't have any reports of severe reports that have came in. Biggest I've seen today has been nickel size across Berrien County. We've also had dime size hail in Cass County, dime to nickel size hail, and also half-inch hail as well. We've also had hail on stream a couple of times, at least small hail. Um, Hopefully that continues to remain the case. We can avoid most of the severe weather. Yep, and we will actually be going to Jonah right now. He just wants to say a few words, so in just a moment. All right, Jonah, you are wide open whenever.
All right. Well, hello everyone. Hope you guys are enjoying the stream so far. I know we had a couple of brief severe thunderstorm warnings there. What these storms have been doing is they're popping up. They're what we call pulse storms, and they pop up, strengthen pretty quickly, uh, even up towards severe limits or even above severe limits, and then they just as quickly kind of ramp back down. And we've seen that happen over and over and over again along and south of I-94 this afternoon, which we expected. I'm going to start heading back north. We do have the approaching line of storms, broken line of storms, ahead of the cold front over the lake right now, and I want to be in position in case those pose more of a damaging wind threat. But we saw some small hail, and now we are enjoying a nice rainbow, even a double, triple rainbow at times here in Van Buren County as we head back north. So I won't really have much on my stream for a little bit, but I wanted y'all to have an update from me. Again, I know there's a lot of people watching our stream right now, so I appreciate you guys all hanging out with us. If you got hail reports, I'm sure Jacob's mentioned this a couple of times, but if you got hail reports from southern Michigan, we'd love to get those. You can go to westmichiganweather.net and click on the report button. I'm sure Jacob can throw a link in chat too. But we really appreciate you guys giving those reports and, again, watching our stream. So once again, thanks for hanging out. I'll leave my camera feed up, but there won't be too much interesting for the next little while. And Jacob, we can go back to you, sir.
Okay, let me get. All right, guys. Now that you can hear me, I did just throw the link in chat to those reports. To the report link on our website. Again, that's going to be www.westmichiganweather.net/report. That is where you can submit those hail reports, especially along and south of I-94. Is really where we're interested right now. As he also mentioned, we also do have this broken line of showers and thunderstorms going on to the north, and that is where he is going to be on the way to reposition to along as the cold front continues to move through. We'll be watching this broken line of storms as it moves to the east along with the cold front. We'll be watching them just in case it does ramp up a little bit. Again, we do continue with special weather statements. We have no active severe thunderstorm warnings in effect right now, and Use mainly special weather statements. As these storms continue to move off to the east, they could still be capable of mainly small hail and gusty winds. They have ramped up a couple of times to near severe levels, and in fact, I will say we did have a couple quarter-size hail reports come in earlier from Berrien County. One near the Stevensville area, that's around 45 minutes ago, just after 7 o'clock from a trade spotter. Then also near the Sodus area, we've had quarter-size hail reported around a half hour ago, towards 7:15, 7:16 p.m. or so. We had train spotter report quarter-size hail near the Sodus area. So the storm did produce a little bit larger hail for a brief period of time. And Kyler's saying, I just looked at another channel. It's not looking good in Illinois coming this way. Yeah, we are watching these storms in Illinois as well. I will say, kind of near the Chicago area, it has kind of formed a little bit more of a line formation. If that continues, that may tend to lower the hail threat a little bit with these storms. Don't want to say it's completely zero, but this would transition if it organizes more. This would be more of a damaging wind threat with these particular storms. So we'll be continuing to watch those. They are moving through Chicago. They are moving over the lake. And these particular storms will be impacting, again, the same I-94 corridor that we've really been focused on throughout the day. Again, we are also watching this broken line of showers and thunderstorms. Moving across central and northern lower, and across Lake Michigan as well. I'm not seeing anything super concerning with these storms, but we will be watching these for gusty wind potential as well, as they move through as well this evening. And we've had storms. We're still watching these storms along the I-94 corridor. And I am going to be watching these as they organize over the lake. We'll have to be watching the same corridor that got impacted by these storms. We'll be watching for our storms over Lake Michigan right now. Those will be moving in over the next hour or so. Next hour or two. So again, if you're in the Paw Paw area, zooming back in on that, just kind of looking at some things behind the scenes. So quick. If you're near the Paw Paw area, we're seeing some potential for some small hail, maybe some gustier winds. At the very least, torrential downpours and lightning right now. Watching some other storms across Kalamazoo County, around the Portage area. We're seeing some storms as well. And then, again, our primary focus is going to be also these storms, along the storms over the lake. And we are also still watching these cells, along this broken line along the cold front. That will be moving in as well. Let me just do some quick meso analysis. I want to pull up our temperatures. And as you can see, our cold front, it's 66 in Ludington. It's still in the mid 70s where it hasn't, lower to mid 70s where it hasn't rained yet. Some of our cooler spots across Jackson and the Hillsdale, and then Berrien County, we had recent convection move through that kind of lowers the temperatures. But other than that, where it hasn't rained yet, it's in the low to mid 70s. And that is some warmer temperatures that has allowed for some instability. In fact, Looks like we do have a warning in southeast lower as well. Severe thunderstorm warning. That is outside of our coverage area, so I don't want to spend too much time on that. But if you're in portions of Macomb and Wayne counties, southern Macomb and northeastern Wayne County, especially north and east of the city of Detroit, we do have this severe warning that is in effect for quarter-size hail and 60-mile-per-hour winds. This is for a storm near the Warren, St. Clair Shores, Grosse Pointe Wood area, Fraser. Some of the areas impacted there. That is for a strong to severe storm. I don't want to spend too much time out that. That is not our primary coverage area. I know that's going to pop up some questions as well. We cover, I will outline it real quick. For those of you that might ask what exactly is our coverage area, we pretty much cover areas along and west of 127. So I'm trying to outline it here real quick. What that looks like. So really areas like Ludington, Hart, Muskegon, Grand Haven, Holland. Is this area I've outlined, that is our primary coverage area. So areas like Ludington, Mount Pleasant, Grand Rapids, Wyoming areas, Muskegon, Lansing, Kalamazoo, Jackson, down toward St. Joseph, Coldwater, Hillsdale as well. Those are our primary areas of focus when it comes to severe weather coverage. So just keep in mind when you ask areas outside of that, if I have the time, I might briefly go to it. But when we have active warnings in our coverage area, this is our primary area of focus. So just keep that in mind. That I might not have always have the time to go out of area, especially on those bigger severe level days like what we had back on like the 14th of April. Kyler saying I'm new to your channel, but you're nailing it. Appreciate that, Kyler. We do the best we can here. Glad to see you think we're doing a good job here. So, again, if you're just joining us here, I'm Jacob Mountain, live here of West Michigan Weather. I do have Jonah Drake, who has been out in the field with us this evening, mainly across southwest Michigan, but he is getting ready to head back north. But again, we have been watching some strong to occasionally severe thunderstorms throughout the evening. That has mainly been producing gusty winds and hail. Some of these storms have had a history of producing hail up to quarter size in diameter, especially in Berrien counties where we've seen the largest hail so far this evening. And the threat for severe weather does continue for the next several hours, really through the overnight hours to around 2 to 3 a.m. is our primary focus for the potential severe weather. Again, we are continuing to watch storms that do have some special weather statements right now. We do have special weather statements in effect for Van Buren, Kalamazoo, Calhoun counties, Berrien, Cass, and St. Joseph counties as well. We have special weather statements. Actually, the southern special weather statement's about to expire. Kyler, we're kind of based across West Michigan. I will say our primary home base is up in Montcalm County, but I'm technically based here in Gratiot County. So yeah, we have a community that's kind of based kind of across the area. Um, so just a second. Yeah, we're just kind of discussing what to do about our broadcast. I will say I've been kind of thinking about, since I'm not seeing an immediate severe threat, I do want to quickly maybe grab some dinner here shortly. So I'll probably be wrapping up here in the next couple minutes. I'm just gonna give it a few more minutes, see what mainly what these cells do. Um, Take a look at these cells along the I-94 corridor. I'm not seeing anything too concerning. I will say something that might I'll have to be watching these storms across southern Lake Michigan, especially just in case. But I do think we'll be wrapping up here in just a few minutes, Jonah, at least for the short term. So I will tell you what, guys. Since we don't have any active severe thunderstorm warnings right now, I've been broadcasting for a little while, and I should probably take a little bit of a break, get something to eat, and kind of recharge a little bit for because we do still have storms that will be moving across the area throughout the evening, and we won't be going anywhere. We'll be continually watching these storms behind the scenes, and if we do need to go back live, we'll be back here live if any new severe thunderstorm warnings are issued, or if we see things potentially heading in that direction. We'll be back with you live here as need be throughout the rest of the evening. So, thank you for those of you that have tuned in with us this evening. Uh, and again, we'll be back here live if we need to later this evening. But on behalf of Jonah Drake and the rest of the West Michigan weather team, I am Jacob Melton. Going to be signing off just for now, at least. Maybe I'll see you back here later this evening, but if not, have a good rest of your evening. Thank you again for tuning in with us.